Hi everybody, welcome to Daily Deco. It is Tuesday, and the world has changed since we recorded sort of yesterday, or at least sort of in the UK, the world has changed. Actually, in the US, the world is changing because Tuesday is election day. So I imagine things are going well over there in the United States. But yeah, so obviously we filmed Monday's sort of Daily Deco on Friday, and now of course we're filming this sort of Tuesday episode after the weekend. When there was an announcement from our Parliament, where basically the UK is going back into lockdown. Just to start this sort of Daily Deco, we thought it might be quite nice just to say, right, you've got a few days here in the UK. Here are a few things that you can do to help the scuba diving industry, to sort of help your local dive centre out, because they're going to be suffering.
If they weren't suffering beforehand, or if they just can't, they've just maybe started picking up their feet from the first lockdown. This second lockdown is going to be it's going to be a horrible, massive blow. So things need to be done, and we've got a long list. Well, I'd say long. 3 words. Buy stuff, please. No, sorry. Anyway, take the lead, Mark.
Oh, me? Oh, but you wrote it.
Right. If you want me to take over.
I'll just read your creep notes. So before Thursday, go to your local dive store and buy something. It doesn't have to be a main purchase, but it will all chip in, and it will keep them afloat. So obviously it hasn't been usual for the dive centres, so they haven't been doing all of the training. They probably haven't been doing a lot of the servicing, because a lot of people haven't been scuba diving, so they haven't been using their gear. They haven't been breaking their gear. So if you do still have sort of dive equipment and it does sort of need servicing at some stage, then go to your local dive centre and just sort of say, oh, right, I need sort of stuff serviced. Or if you've been sort of cleaning out your dive locker during lockdown, then you can, and you found that something is broken, then now is the perfect time to replace it, because your dive centre really needs you. And don't just buy it off Amazon so that Jeff Bezos can buy another yacht. Go to your dive centre.
He got ridiculously rich, didn't he, in the last lockdown?
Yeah.
So this one,
I saw. I can't remember the exact numbers, but someone said if he gave every single one of his employees, like including warehouse staff and everything, like $250,000, he would still have enough money to buy like 200 laptops for like a local school or something. And it's just the numbers are incomprehensible, but those are the numbers because it's Amazon. Don't buy your dive equipment off Amazon, because you'll never be able to get an air fill off of them. And if your dive centre goes under, that's kind of it. Yes. Going back through the list, book your cylinder and your regulator in for a service, just so that they can get some kind of cash flow in and get things, so at least they can predict for the future and do sort of a bit more sort of planning. And it says, many of you that watch our videos don't scuba dive. Many of you don't. So if you're thinking about... Oh, I see what you're trying to say. If you're watching our videos, you're just sort of interested in scuba diving, but you're not qualified, then head over to your sort of dive centre, have a chat with them. They'll go over the whole sort of process and sort of how it works. And lockdown is almost the perfect time to do some homework, because you'll get a sort of a manual that you have to kind of read through and a few quizzes. This is the perfect time if you're... because they extended furlough scheme as well. If you've been furloughed, you've got nothing else to do, but you've always wanted to sort of learn how to scuba dive, then this is the perfect opportunity. It's something that the whole family can do as well. So that'll be something to keep you occupied during lockdown. If your local dive centre has a website, then buy sort of from them via the website. Yes, definitely. If you don't have to physically go to the dive centre, you can sort of buy remotely, then yes, it's definitely a more viable option. It's definitely safer, and it still sort of supports them. And and of course all the mail couriers as well. Although physical stores are amazing in these trying times, if a dive centre doesn't have a website, they aren't getting sales, and if lockdown keeps happening, then sadly they will close down. So yeah, if your local dive centre doesn't have a sort of retail outlet website, then yeah, you kind of have to go to them, because there's no other way for them to get that kind of income. So yeah, we really have to sort of band together and sort of buy a few bits and bobs, get your stuff serviced. If it's been sort of a certain amount of time, then yeah, you really should sort of have it serviced, because dive gear doesn't do too well just kind of laying around and not moving. So yeah, get your regulator serviced. At least that's some sort of money in the pockets of your dive centre, and they can hopefully sort of survive this winter.
Yeah, I mean, touching on that was fantastic. I can't believe you read my bullet points. But yeah, I mean, the way when I was thinking, when I wrote these bullet points and stuff, I mean, if you think about it, so say your local dive centre at the moment is getting max 10 people hitting their store, you know, if over the next 2 days, if you can increase that to maybe 15 to 20 to maybe up to 30 people, and all they do is go and buy a new mask or some defog or something like that, that's putting physical money in their tills and for their business. You know, if you do have regulators, obviously like Mark says, go and get them serviced. But if you're erring on the side of caution, just go, look, you know what I mean? We don't know when this lockdown's going to happen. I'm not 100% happy, say, leaving your regs there. What you can do is see if they have like a deposit scheme. So you give them some money that basically marks you in their calendar. So when it does open up, you can then take your cylinder, take your reg, whatever you want there to go and get serviced. And that way it gives the dive centre, it gives them a little bit of money now through your deposit, which is really great. And also as well, it gives them something to look forward to in the future, so they know that they've got 3 or 4 different regulators, or they've got 3 or 4 service packaging that they have to do as soon as they physically open. So it's a win-win. And again, you have to drop your regulator when they're open up, drop your reg around there once they're opened up, and then it's hopefully business as usual, or as business as usual as it can be in these weird times. But yeah, you know, you just going over there and buying some defog for $5. Personally, or like individually, it's not breaking the bank. But if everyone does that, if like 10, 15 people go into your local dive store, buy some defog or something for a tenner, that's more than what was going to happen beforehand. And as I say, if we can do that just before lockdown, it's vital for the diving industry. It's vital, and a lot of dive stores don't have physical websites, or if they do, it's not a retail element. They just talk about, you know, the training that they do. There's no physical e-commerce to it. So it's vitally important that you do go out there and you spend your hard-earned cash in that store, in your local dive store, or like Mark says, they will go.
Yeah.
They will go, because obviously this lockdown here in the UK is until 2nd of December. But if people don't go by the rules, it's going to be longer. You know,
exactly.
it could be another 3 months. You know, and it's something where we've all got to band together. I mean, I remember making a video like this just before we went on furlough, and obviously everything else. I mean, Simply Scuba went under. You know, if the UK's number one online retailer could go under. Granted, there were several other versions why it went under. It just wasn't just because of furlough. But you know what I mean? It could happen to anyone, you know. And like I said in the notes as well, like, you guys and girls, your scuba diving forums are brilliant. So you guys and girls over on Reddit are really, really good. You've got diving forums over there. So if your local dive centre has a website that has e-commerce to it, share it. Get people visiting their store. Even if you don't buy anything, if that store has adverts running on their website, click on an ad. It means they get a little bit of revenue. You know, if the store doesn't actually have, like I said earlier, if the website is just for talking about the courses that they run, but they have adverts click on that advert, it increases their ad revenue just that little bit. It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to take 5 minutes out of your time, but it could potentially help a local dive centre. So yeah, we just got to band together. And obviously, majority of our viewers are US based, but obviously, and we're talking about lockdown over here and stuff like that. But you can always do the same where you are over in the States. Even right now, even though you only had a partial lockdown, or some stores have stayed open, some stores have closed. However, whatever state, because I think every state has a different rule and stuff, don't they? It's very it's very interesting what they're doing over there. But go over to your local dive centre over there as well. Buy a little something. It could potentially stop them from shutting down. So yeah, we just got to band together, haven't we? At the end of the day.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, at the moment, just support your local dive centre. Otherwise, they might not survive this. So moving on to the news, make it a little bit more sort of optimistic, shall we say. So the first one that caught my eyes was, this was a Forbes article, and it was basically saying, so everyone knows about the sort of invasive lionfish species that were introduced into the Caribbean sort of years and years ago, and now they're just horrific. They're just sort of decimating ecosystems because they basically have no natural predators out there. And people have been doing their best to do sort of lionfish culls, try and sort of reduce their numbers as much as possible, but nothing's really helping. But what some people have found is that they're attracted to really, really cheap, like lattice fence panels. What? So where is it? So there's they basically like these. They've been testing out sort of different things, sort of with bait, to try and sort of bait them to an area, and they've been sort of getting sort of different substrates and things, trying to work out, right, how can we like gather them all to one area so we can just go boom, dispatch them, make them disappear. And they found they actually like this really cheap like plastic lattice fence. So what they do is they've just lowered down this sort of plastic white lattice sort of fence panel. It doesn't look too big. It only looks like 1 by 1 meter or something. I was gonna say, and it attracts all these lionfish, I presume, for the patterns or whatever it is. They just have this sort of net underneath the lattice, and then when there are enough sort of lionfish, they just go whoa. They spring the trap, and it catches all the lionfish. Hopefully, no bycatch, and then they can sort of eliminate them. So they're kind of hoping that they can use this study in that lionfish like plastic sort of lattice fence. So maybe we can create some kind of, I don't know, barrier or just kind of creche to basically corral them all into one area and then make for sort of an easier cull. I just thought it was interesting for the sort of behavioural aspect and trying to work out why. I presume it's the pattern of the lattice, but
maybe they're just keen gardeners.
Yeah, who knows? Obviously,
it's just so weird.
Yeah, obviously can't condone putting plastic into the ocean, but it seems to be for a good cause, and obviously they know exactly where they're putting it.
Yeah, it's not like they're just chucking a bunch of plastic in the ocean. It's an actual trap. So that's very weird.
It is interesting because something does need to be done, because it is ruining a lot of sort of ecosystems out there, sort of up and down the east coast of the Americas. So yeah. Plastic.
Always gets me. I can never watch Ace. Is it the first Ace Ventura? No, not Ace Ventura. Naked Gun. The first Naked Gun, and he has a lionfish, and he's like, "Oh, this is the most exotic lionfish ever." And I'm like, "Kill it now!" He does though. Leslie Nielsen stabs it with a pen. So yes, that's so weird. How did they even think of that? Like, I
can only imagine. I can only imagine there was
down there.
Yeah, I can only imagine that there was a panel like blown in from a recent hurricane or something, and people noticed that there were lots of lionfish around it, and they thought, maybe let's try this out. But otherwise, that's a stroke of genius, right out of left field.
Completely. They probably spent millions. They spent millions and millions of dollars how to get rid of lionfish. And then you got Dave the gardener. She's like, do you want to just try a bit of this? You're on there, Mark.
Yeah, I just heard a noise. Oh, it's the bin
not
men.
Halloween anymore. The bin men.
No, it's the bin men. They come around.
So you're in your garage. I'm in my toilet. This is going very well today.
So the next news story isn't a happy news story, unfortunately. This is a popular character out in Portland. This is Danny the Dolphin. So he was quite friendly with a lot of scuba divers. He used to be sort of in the water sort of around there, and people used to see him all the time, sort of behind boats and kind of doing his sort of dolphin thing. And his dolphin thing. And yeah, just kind of one day they kind of noticed that he no one had seen him, and then it had been a while. Sort of people were going, oh, where's Danny? We haven't seen him in a long time. Unfortunately, he has been found. People were hoping that maybe he just sort of swam off to kind of explore or do something. Yeah, unfortunately, he was hit by a boat. And they of course did sort of autopsy on his remains, and they found sort of multiple like propeller strikes. So he'd been sort of hit by a boat before, but that was superficial. So he's kind of survived that, but unfortunately he didn't survive this one. So again, it's tough because he was such a sort of a local character. You'll probably find that sort of people interacted him, so he was drawn closer to people, drawn closer to boats, which should have probably or could have led to this unfortunate encounter. And it's sad, but it does happen, and it happens all over the world. A lot of marine species do get sort of hit by boats, and the propeller does a lot of damage to them. So we do have to be careful. And although it may feel good to kind of interact with them and sort of maybe feed them, but down the road they're just going to sort of stay close to sort of boats, and yeah, they end up getting hurt. So yeah, it's unfortunate. In a way, it's nice that they now have closure. They now know what happened to him, because a lot of people are just, we don't really know, we just haven't seen him. So now they definitely know, but it's a sad story, unfortunately.
I always think we shouldn't really interact with them personally. Just leave them alone. See them from a distance.
Yeah, that's it, and that's why there are a lot of sort of regulations about boats going near whales. You have to sort of be in a certain sort of distance from them, so you can look, but try not to get sort of too close. Obviously, if they come up to you, just be as careful as possible. But yes.
That's sad. R.I.P.
Yes.
Danny.
Yes, bless him. And the final news story comes from Paddy and GoPro have teamed up together to launch Underwater Selfie Day. It's the 7th of November. Yeah. So.
Well, that won't be happening in the UK.
No. Maybe in the bathtub. That was quite a nice one, because Fourth Element did that in the first lockdown. They did underwater like bathtub. Sort of photo competition. I can't remember what they called it, but that was good fun. People doing a lot of sort of clever things. But yeah, if you want to get involved, it's quite simple. All you really need to do is sort of go for a scuba dive, take a selfie of yourself, and sort of upload it with the hashtag just Underwater Selfie Day. So again, kicking off an International Underwater Selfie Day, which celebrates protecting the environment. So a lot of it is to sort of raise attention for their new GoPro, funnily enough, which is sold in plastic-free packaging, which is good. One more step we're taking to protect the environment. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun. To be brutally honest, it's just a marketing campaign, but yeah, if it gets people scuba diving, then great. That is quite good. But But yeah, if you're sort of in the water before or sort of on the 7th, then celebrate Underwater Selfie Day. Or of course, if you have an underwater selfie, then you can just re-upload that. I'm sure they won't mind too much.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah,
It's an underwater selfie, it's an underwater selfie, isn't it? That's cool,
yeah,
though.
that's it. Yes. Obviously, you don't have to be a paddy diver to do it or anything. You don't have to do it with a GoPro.
No, it's specific. You have to be a certain level. You have to get your paddy GoPro certificate in order
underwater selfie speciality.
Yeah, that's the one. You have to have that, Mark, or you can't do it.
Don't tempt them. They'll
All right.
do it.
Okay. Are you ready for questions?
Time? Yeah, come on then.
Question time. That was beautiful. So the first one is from Adrian Terry on Facebook. He says, "Hi guys, since the change of owners, my login details are no longer working. Is this a known reason or is something wrong with my account?"
No, I don't think it's specifically you. I think it was because we've changed sort of platform on the website as well. So it's a matter of what they basically did is they kind of took all of the data, all the database sort of from the old owners of Simply Scuba, and now of course the new owners of Simply Scuba sort of have it. They just haven't sort of uploaded it quite yet. So chances are all your details are perfectly safe and they sort of will be there. But I don't think the accounts are live at the moment. I can't promise that they will because I don't like to promise anything. But I imagine they'll be sort of switched back on, and of course we'll tell you when. You'll probably get an email as well. I imagine they'll just do a blanket email to all customers, just saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, and if you wanted to make any changes."
Please do. Yeah. You can now. Yeah, it's integration. Going from one website to another, you'd think it'd be nice and simple. It's really not.
Yeah, lots of ones and zeros.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, I did have a couple of questions like that when I first logged into Facebook after 6 months. Like, at least maybe 50 questions were like, "I can't log in." I'm like, it's because it's not there anymore, mate, at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it is there, like Mark says. It's literally all in a file somewhere, isn't it? That they literally just have to upload it, make it go live, make sure it goes with the template that they have. Because obviously the website that you see now is only it's literally a carbon copy. They're working behind the scenes of making a new fancy shiny website, which will have all the integrations. But yeah, like Mark says, just check the website, check social, and you'll probably get an email just to say it's back up and running.
Yes.
Awesome. So the next question, young Mark, are you ready? Mm-hmm. It's from Scuba Steve and the Underwater Rock Climbing on YouTube. He says, "Can you make some tips/hacks for us quarry divers? There's not much fish and current to enjoy."
Yeah.
Cool.
Stuff to do in a quarry?
I guess because this comment was on your 7 hacks for general scuba diving. So maybe there's some like hacks or some tips for quarry divers, because we do a lot of tips for cave divers. We've done a lot of tips for rescue divers, rebreathers. I don't actually think we've made a specific quarry dive video. So
quarry. Yeah,
we'll do that. I don't see why not.
Yeah, it's not that tricky. It's just you don't have to worry about current. You can get fish. We used to get loads of fish in sort of quarries, sort of over here. Of course, they're freshwater, but
I used to shove a load of goldfish in there.
Yeah. I think the main thing is just sort of not yelling. One of the great things is when you're doing a rescue course. Of course, you have like panic diver in the water, so you'd get one of your dive masters to go in, and then the students would have to sort of get them out. But of course, they want to make it realistic. But if there's someone on the surface yelling "help, help, help," then of course all the staff and all the other sort of scuba divers in the area, they all freak out. They start sort of calling for emergency services and like preparing everything. So So of course, sort of we used to sort of say, oh, sort of pizza, and then you say, oh, okay, okay, I'm going to call for a pizza instead of calling for emergency services. So yeah, help was now pizza. So yeah, that's how we kind of got around it.
There you go. That's something you can add in. Pizza, mamma mia, pizza.
Yeah.
I like a spaghetti. Excellent.
But yeah, we can do a tips for sort of quarry divers, sort of stuff to do,
Awesome.
stuff not to do. Okay.
Cool. So the next one is from Rob Darla. I do believe that's how you pronounce your surname on YouTube. And again, this is relaying back to the hacks video because you mentioned about, you can't really spit in your mask at the moment and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
So, and you mentioned baby shampoo because I put the outcut of your little story about how you put concentrate on there and it burnt your eyes or whatever. But anyway, yeah, sorry, getting back to the actual question. He said, isn't baby shampoo bad for marine life or potential coral?
Yeah, if you pour it like neat into the ocean, but the way you use it, you use like a drop of baby shampoo mixed into sort of a water solution, and then you only spray a little bit, so it's very like homeopathic. It's like a fraction of a drop. So I mean, yeah, it's not great, but it's so minuscule the amount that sort of a single diver would use. Yeah, and I think sort of baby shampoo is specifically made to be sort of better for the environment and better for sort of young infants. So
to be fair, there probably is an eco-friendly, or there will be an eco-friendly baby shampoo. There probably is.
Yeah, and obviously there's a certain level of irony in that a lot of the sort of commercial defog gels they'll be quite similar, so they're not particularly great for the environment neither. And if you're on a liveaboard, you're using shampoo anyway, and then that just sort of goes into the ocean, which most people don't think about. So yeah, unless you're sort of going 100% sort of eco-friendly, yeah, it's a little hypocritical to sort of complain about a fraction of a drop.
It's not going to be me this time. It's always the Tuesday videos where there's a bit of controversy, isn't there?
Oh, is it? Shall we just skip Tuesday? We don't we don't do a Tuesday one.
We no longer do Tuesdays. Oh, that's funny.
But no, just find an eco-friendly sort of baby shampoo and use that.
What about if you use a bar of soap? You just rub it on your lens.
I imagine so. You wouldn't need much. I've never seen anyone do it before. You basically need to break the kind of surface tension of the fog, as I understand it.
Super glue.
But
Super glue will work.
super glue doesn't sort of do well in water. It goes that like white, like crystal. So yeah, that would be awful. Awful.
All right. That's why I'm not the dive master expert. Anyway, let's move on. Move on. So again, this was on the hacks video that you did. It's from Dirkmans. I'm just going to say it's like that. Dirkmans.
Yeah, Dukemans. Yeah.
Dukemans. Anyway, why not spit in your mask? Is it not, as words today? Why not spit in your mask? It's not as if someone else is going to use it, and I'm also not in a habit of hugging my body while spitting in my mask. Again, it's to do with the defog you say about don't viral diseases and all that sort of thing. Don't spit in masks.
Yeah. I think we're missing the point. We're trying to reduce the chances of passing communicable diseases. So yeah, granted, you're not licking your buddy's mask, but it's the matter of you're spitting into your mask, but not 100% of it is going into your mask. You're then using your hand to kind of sort of swill it around. You then sort of take that and you kind of dunk that in either a communal dunk tank or something. So we're just trying to reduce the sort of spread of any infection, not specifically COVID, but yeah, any kind of communicable diseases. I don't know why people resist these kind of things. They always kind of go, oh well, no. Yeah.
You'll get in trouble. You'll get in trouble.
It's just stop it. I mean, I know it is a fairly effective defog. It's not the best defog, but it's cheap and you can never leave it behind. But yeah, especially in this day and age, it's pretty grim. And yeah, you're just going to sort of increase the chances of someone else sort of getting an infection. So yeah, and... no, just be as aware as you can. Try and reduce spread of infection, and we should all get through this.
Thanks, Dad. Right, we got one more question. It's the most complicated question ever. To be fair, there is a reason why I picked this, and you'll find out. So it's from Baz Montgomery on YouTube, and he says, it's a real joy in these dark days to see you guys back. Thank you very much. And then he ends the lovely comment. It's not really a question with thanks, guys.
Oh no.
It's already started. It's only been a week.
Yeah, speaking of infectious diseases, puns. Puns are a terrible infection that we do need to quell on this channel.
No, we don't. More puns. Right, guys, I've got a challenge for you. Scuba diving puns in the comments. The best ones I will use as my sign-off for each episode, or at least a weekly thing. So yeah, do that.
Okay, that would be quite fun.
Thanks for watching. Awesome.
As ever, if you do have any scuba diving puns, pop them down in the comments below. If you have any questions that you would like myself or even Shaun to answer, then pop them down below. If you have any corrections, then obviously sort of put them down below and we'll address them next time. There doesn't need to be any
corrections. What we say doesn't upset anyone.
It's gospel truth. Let us know down in the comments below. If you're taking underwater selfies, then obviously use the hashtag underwater selfie day on the 7th of November, as long as you're not in lockdown. Thank you for watching, everybody, and safe diving.
And everyone that is in lockdown, you've got 2 days to help your local dive centre out. Please do that. Spread the word if they've got an online store. Click on the ads if they have ads on their website. We just gotta help the locals out. Gotta help your local out. Anyway, thanks for watching.